The city of Dallas is under attack. This is the aftermath. 13 hours after I had notification that we had a problem. As you can see, there are tree branches down everywhere. I couldn't even open my front door when I tried to come out this morning. And then, like I said, over 13 hours later, we're still dealing with the aftermath because with no power and very little cell phone service and other problems, there has been no internet coverage all day long. People are kind of at a standstill. I live just in Dallas, just outside the city of Garland. I had business to conduct in Garland today. A location that I had to go to that would have taken me on a normal day roughly 10 to 15 minutes to arrive to. Took me over an hour to arrive. And when I got there, I discovered they were closed because the weather is so bad that there's no way that people could get to work. As you can see, I'm walking towards the front of my apartment complex now, and there are more branches in the parking lot. As you can see, I'll walk over close to it. We had the apartment management company told me that there were windows broken. Here's a fence that was destroyed. This is a chimney cap from one of the buildings that was blown off. And this is after a day that there have been crews out working all day long, trying to get some semblance of order back into place. And yet it's still not a place where people can function on a normal basis. You can see moving down the sidewalk here, there are branches partway broken down. Debris on patios. Interestingly enough, at least in this particular area, no one was hurt. There are no reports of injuries, and so I guess the real injuries could potentially be just because of the hazard of trying to get from one place to another. You can see the sidewalks are blocked. Back out into the drive areas, a screen on the ground. Looks like we'll see when we get down there, but it looks like maybe they've got part of the big barriers blocked, or that were blocking the driveway moved. But here is a fallen branch in a parking area. Some structural damage to a patio. That patio did not sag before last night. And you can see one of the crossbars on the base of it has been broken. They've moved a lot of this debris into the side here so it can be hauled away by trucks. This set of trees, or tree branches here, were actually blocking the driveway today when I tried to drive out of the community. Funny, it's sunny now. It's warm. In fact, it's bordering on getting hot. And the humidity is rising again. According to the Weather Service, that means we're in for more of this within the next few days. This is one of the joys of living in Dallas. You know, I can't complain too loudly though, because it's interesting. 11 months or 10 and a half months of the year, Dallas's climate is very easy and very interesting to live in. It gets a little hot in the summer, but there's only 1 week a year, usually happening in February, where it drops to the point that it gets really cold. But when it does, it gets really cold. And then the month of May, traditionally, from what I've been told, more fallen branches here. The month of May is a traditional month for tornadoes and hurricanes. Over the past few years, there have been fewer of them. I was listening to a radio talk show today when they were talking to other service people, and they asked why. You know, what is it about this year that makes the difference? And what we were told was basically this is part of the cycle, and that people in Texas have just gotten used to the better weather over the past few years that were abnormal, and that this is more like what we can expect living in Texas. Tell you, I was scared when whatever it was that hit my house this morning shortly after 5 a.m. and woke me straight out of a dead sleep hit. I didn't know what to think. And then when I couldn't turn on the lights, and immediately my phone started screaming with an order to take cover, I just simply got out of bed, grabbed my cat, and headed for the bathtub. And that's where we stayed until a little bit after 8 a.m. this morning, when the wind stopped howling and the rain stopped, the thunder stopped flying like it was, and the rain seemed to lessen a little bit. But it's been raining most of the day. This is one of the big blockages that still isn't out of the road. They moved it enough that people can get around it now. But this actually blocked the pathway, allowing people to leave the community. I had some concern about my car because I had talked to someone else in my church that had lost 2 cars in the storm last night. But one of the things I like about living here is that the parking in the community I live in is actually covered parking. It's like having a garage, except for a garage door. And so my car was okay. More broken branches and torn up foliage. I think probably the most lasting thing that's difficult for people who are living here now is that half of this community has been able to get power turned back on. The other half is still dark. And that's scary in Dallas because this time of year, with humidity over 90% and temperatures ranging anywhere from the high 80s to 100, it gets so hot that living without air conditioning can be very hazardous to people.